token, a Monarch wallet, StrokenTokens.com, Bitcoin Energy, and Bitbacker.io. Shout out to Satoshi's Ball by JarsLearnCrypto.com in Ottawa, December 15th. Monarch token, a Monarch wallet, StrokenTokens.com, Bitcoin Energy, and Bitbacker.io. Shout out to Satoshi's Ball by JarsLearnCrypto.com. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I'm here with Josh Case. He is the CEO of Ethershift.co. How goes it, bro?
Hey, it's going good, man. How are you?
Dude, I'm enjoying the day. It's raining out, but I'm inside. I get to play Fortnite in a little bit with some of my friends, so I'm enjoying my day. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, let them know who you are, what you do, and a little bit about like what Ethershift.co is.
Sure. My name's Josh. I'm the CEO of Ethershift.co. We're like an instant exchange similar to like Shapeshift and Changelly and those types. We have no accounts. We collect no customer information. And we're really focusing on, right now, ERC20 tokens, a lot of the smaller ones that aren't getting on any real exchange support. And we're more opening those up to like a wider audience. Right now, one of our main focuses is just like our back-end products, our API to be integrated with wallets and payment processors and merchants, and that's really what our focus is right now. But yeah, we got about 75 tokens on our website right now, and we're expanding to about 200 or so in the next month. And we're just going to keep growing it out from there, and that's really what we're doing right now.
So what are some of the tokens that have the most volume so far? A lot of tokens that we've been getting volume on are smaller ones that really aren't on any other exchanges, and that's obviously where our volume's coming from. AirX, which is the native coin for Aircoins app. It's an augmented reality app I think you're familiar with. Yep.
Yeah, they do quite a bit of volume through us. We're the only exchange that has AirX right now. Latium X is a coin that John McAfee works with. And
I know Latium.
Yeah, I think they've probably, at least in the last couple of months, they've been our highest volume coin. And
I just had their one of their guys on my channel earlier, Kevin, and I've interviewed David Johnson a few times. I've hung out with them.
Yeah, they're great guys.
So yeah, it makes sense that those would be like the coins because they actually have platforms that have a use case for the utility token.
Yeah, they have a user base, but they just don't really have like that big exchange support. And like, especially now, I think those shadier type centralized exchanges that collect all your information, do KYC, and don't do fast withdrawals and all of that stuff are just, it's hard to get volume going on a coin on those exchanges, even if they have a really good community. Like Latium's a good example. They have a lot of signups on their platform and a really good community.
Over hundreds of thousands of active users right now.
Right, yeah, and yet their exchange support and volume for that really doesn't show that yet. So I think allowing people just a better way to have access to those kind of tokens is really going to be helpful. And I think, yeah, primarily, like I said, like I think wallet integrations is going to be like our primary focus with like wallets that have all the tokens anyway.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be great to see you like partner up with somebody like, you know, maybe a Monarch token wallet or something like that, because, you know, these integrations are basically the stepping stones to mainstream adoption. Like you have to figure out what fits in where, what works, where do people choose to, you know, go. Do people want 7 apps or do they want one? You know,
right.
So what are some of like the key features that you're looking to implement?
We're basically just working on like the instant swap feature. And so like we are going to be introducing other chains outside of Ethereum at the end of the year, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, all of those chains. So that'll really allow us to expand like our token selection and go into like more of a mainstream market that the wallets are wanting also. And I don't want to say too much, but we've been talking to Monarch quite a bit, and I do think there will be something in the future with us and them hopefully. And a lot of other wallets. And so like, yeah, so basically just like the flawless execution of the really fast swap of the tokens without needing customer information. Like Shapeshift, I think like that's really where I got like the inspiration. Like years ago when he started it, he said that like he wanted a certain altcoin, couldn't find it easily. Yep. And like I think along the line he kind of lost the vision that he started with because
they got very skewed.
Right, like he kept the same tokens that he listed initially from 2015, and along the line, all these tokens came along that I was in the same position. I couldn't easily get them without KYCing on an exchange, and that's not what I wanted to do. So I just created the service that I thought was missing in the market.
So how does ethershift.co kind of, solve that problem? Like where do the tokens come from? Because I know, like, if I wanted to say, for instance, get Spank, that's an ERC20 token, I just put in my contract receiving address, I send in ETH, and then it sends me my Spank, right? But where does the Spank come from?
So we have so it's a bunch of different ways. So we have we do in-house liquidity. Some tokens we take the risk in holding inventory on. Some of our liquidity comes from partners like I can't announce some of them yet, but some of the bigger liquidity Ethereum partners in the space. We'll be announcing those later this month who we're partnered with. But we have like some of the bigger liquidity providers we're partnered with that provide a lot of the liquidity for the ERC20 tokens. Then we also have an in-house over-the-counter market. So we partner directly with some projects, and they provide tokens to sell at these market rates. And this allows us to lock in like bigger exchange orders because we don't have an order book, and provides the liquidity for people to buy it. But it also allows projects, like, people don't like to talk about it, but projects have to sell tokens to fund development, pay for stuff. And like if they sell on an exchange with an order book, it hurts the project because it takes the price down. But if they partner with us, we have this over-the-counter mechanism where it's not hurting the price at all because we're selling directly peer-to-peer to people without an order book. And so like that's where a lot of the liquidity comes from, is those three areas.
Do you see any like well, I guess not now because it's so like, low in the attention of where people are investing, but like the potential of like OTC not helping any either? I know it doesn't hurt, but it may not hurt, but it doesn't help. So not helping does hurt.
And I do know what you mean there. But I definitely know what you mean. But like when the way, like some projects we'll work directly with, and we have like 6 or 7 right now that we're doing that with. And it's limited amounts of selling at a time. Okay. So eventually we have to refill from exchanges. And that's where a lot of our tokens come from too, that we hold in house. We buy from exchanges, or we buy from large people that invest in ICOs, and they're looking to sell large chunks of their tokens without hurting the project they invested in, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So stuff like that, like a lot of people, like I don't want to name the project, but there's one project that
we drop names on this show. No, it's okay.
There was one project that a guy bought like 5% of their token supply during the ICO last year, and the project doesn't have very much volume right now, and he wanted to exit some tokens. So like if he sold even a fraction of what he had on an exchange, it would completely wreck the project. But selling them to someone like us as inventory doesn't hurt anyone, and then we can continue selling them over the counter. And that's just kind of the way.
Right. So instead of like dumping on the project, he can sort of kind of put it on ice, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll hold it kind
of layaway. It's like crypto layaway.
Kind of, yeah. And then so people can buy from us, and then it doesn't help the project's price point, I guess, when they buy from us again, but it didn't get wrecked before when the person was going to dump.
No, I see. It's a great way to explain it. I've actually haven't been able to figure out how to explain that well, because it is a help, which is also a help. Like it is a double-edged sword, but there are very good reason examples like you just gave on why we need those OTCs in the first place. They protect the previous investors from the whales that are involved, who could make a large profit taking dumping at a 30% loss over market value. It doesn't matter to them. They're so high up, they don't care.
Yeah, exactly. But this gives them, like, when you give someone a more reasonable way to exit and still make money, they'll take it a lot of times. So that's kind of what we're doing there.
My bro Sean Hebert in the comment section wanted to know if he could list Brotherium. I believe first you have to create that Ethereum token, dude. So let's get on that.
When you create that, email us.
Yeah, I have a friend helping us work on it. It's funny. It's a meme. We're working on Brotherium. But yeah, dude, so what's that process like, building an exchange like you have? What were some of like the red tape or the walls that you hit, and how did you overcome them and get to where you're at? I mean, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. We got people like Eric Voorhees and you. So what's going on behind the scenes that's keeping everybody from, just doing something like this? What's like the difficulties of building these tools?
It's interesting. Like, no one knows this, but like when we launched in May, like we had 24/7 people like sitting at the computer manually doing the orders, because like like for months we did it this way to like try to anticipate like what are we going to need in this building process of automation? Like, what are all these roadblocks that we are going to run into? And like, our system is just recently has been fully developed. Like, our API and our automation's done now, and we've been testing it with partners, and we're going to like fully launch it at the end of the month to the public, like the API and stuff. But like, yeah, like it was really interesting, and like a lot of like, I don't know, it seems so simple. Like if you go to our website, it just seems like it's like a website that doesn't, like it's so simple, but like, yeah, we spent like over about $100,000 so far in development on the back end. Like it's a really complicated process to try and make it work. And then the other roadblocks that we haven't ran into yet, but we've spent the most planning on is the legal, like not doing.
Oh yeah, that's like the iceberg ahead.
Yeah, like so that's been like that's the development on what we're gonna do with that has been even more intensive than the product. But like the product's been hard too. Like it was harder than we anticipated. But yeah, legally, yeah, like just they're not they're not a fan. And so yeah,
Well, the
we
SEC just announced today that their next target is YouTube influencers shilling ICOs.
yeah, I wonder who they're gonna come after.
I think I only ever shilled one ICO, and it did exit, it did scam, and I did hunt that motherfucker down. So he got his. But yeah, I still am accountable, right? Like I accepted payment for my time. My time was compensated, and I talked about the project, and I interviewed the founder of the ICO, and later on exited after raising money. So I know I am entitled to some kind. I deserve to get in trouble. Like, you know what I mean? But also, again, I'm like a high school dropout who smokes weed. Anybody taking financial advice from a YouTuber should probably get Darwined out of investing themselves. So
Yeah.
I feel like any judge would be like, watch my YouTube video and be like, oh, they took your advice? You know, like I was
There is-
just starting to get into this space. I was taken advantage of, like, you know, as a very early person into crypto. So it sucks, but that is a real big worry. And like, I wonder, do you worry about maybe like potentially being liable for having a platform that may have hosted a token that was an ICO or exited or something like that? Like, is there like,
Yeah.
I know that there was a decentralized exchange recently that just got, you know, so big.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything like that you're worried about that like, and what precautions are you taking?
Yeah, man. So like I'm really like an anarchist type,
Same
really
here, man.
political, and so like I don't know, like I don't think the government should have anything to do with two people transacting privately, and so like that's really like just the approach I'll take. Like I know yeah, like I can't, like I'm a U.S. citizen, but EtherShift is completely formed and licensed in Antigua, and I'm about to make the full move there, so we'll have full operations out of there, and like.
And that's the brain drain the American government is incentivizing. See, like, oh yeah, hey, you're smart. Get out of
Yeah,
here.
right. Yeah, like that, and that's just how it is. Like, and I know, like, there will come a time where we are charged for the same shit that he was. Like, we're just too new. He'd started years ago, but like, they're gonna hit everyone.
Yeah,
And
that's why I don't think Changely went KYC yet. They're not as big as Shapeshift. Shapeshift
right.
took the first
But now
move.
that they're out, they'll be next.
Everybody has to now. Shapeshift,
Yeah.
they like opened the floodgates. You know, they were the first wall in Attack on Titan that gave way.
Yep.
Now all the
Yeah.
other walls are going to be giving way, and the village is screwed. But like the funny part is these things that they're doing, like, you know, what Shapeshift is doing, they're making it better for projects like yours.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
And you know, when yours gets big, then another little one will pop up, and it's
Yep.
just a circle of life. We'll never run out of these centralized means of exchanging, because the volume's there. Liquidity
Yeah.
will always be there on the anonymous exchanges, these decentralized exchanges. It's just waiting for that exchange to pop up. And, you know, the security aspect of it, which I wanted to kind of tap into, that's kind of what draws in the customer base. Like, the UI is a good start. A lot of people want a clean UI, but it could be the ugliest thing as long as they can trust it, as long as it has,
Yeah.
you know, some form of open source means of verifying, you know, the transactions, or, you know, the wallets, the cold storage or hot wallets that they have. What are some of the things that you're taking action on to provide security and build trust with your community?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Like we actually like we do take those things important. We take those things as very important, but we don't have to be like we're very. Everyone thinks we're a decentralized exchange because of the way we operate. Like we're not. We're a centralized exchange. We handle all the stuff in house, but like we own like our average transaction time is around 2 or 3 minutes. And our slow transaction times are like 10 or 12 minutes. So like we only hold the customer's funds for just a couple minutes before their tokens are back in their wallet. And so like that's been like I guess like a lot of like our automatic trust, like because people know within minutes if we're exit scamming or not. Like we couldn't have days of transactions building up because people would already know like something's fishy. Where's my wallet? And even on our checkout screen, it says like your tokens will be there in less than 10 minutes unless we're having like some sort of issue, and there's very slight delays. But like yeah, we just work on really fast transaction times, and we're working on making those even faster. Our goal in the next 6 months is like 60-second transactions on most. Like yeah, just pretty much as instant.
Which really disincentivizes you to exit. You don't get much in 60 seconds.
Right, and there's no real reason from any sort of technical standpoint that it has to be slower than that. Like we have the tokens in stock. When we get your token and it confirms, we can send immediately. So like I think that's part of like our saving grace. We don't have your customer information. We don't have your email address. We just have your wallet and your tokens very temporarily. And like, yeah, like I said, we could only scam 1 or 2 people before the whistle would be blown.
That's actually a really good, model there to show people, like, you don't really have to trust us for longer than a couple minutes. And what's like the volume? Like, is there a limit on how much I could purchase at one time, like, without going through the KYC?
We don't have any KYC no matter what. We do have like, we call them daily limits, but a lot of times we'll process more than one transaction if someone does it. But yeah, some tokens, it just depends on the liquidity of the token. Like, because we also carry some tokens that are really, really small and have very small liquidity. But so some of our tokens have like around $100 to $200 max. We have some that have a $500 to $1,000 max. They're all pretty much different. And then our top end, we top out around like $5,000 max on some tokens.
Okay.
But we plan to increase this quite a bit. When we add Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and the other ones at the end of the month, those will have much larger limits because the liquidity is really deep and it's easy to do bigger transactions on coins like that.
Gotcha. Are you working on building any kind of like application for mobile phones, or is it sort of like browser based only?
We're thinking about it, but we don't have real plans yet, because like I don't think the majority of our traffic is going to come from like our website or an app. Like I think like 99% of our traffic is going to come from our integration with wallets and brands and stuff like that, because like
sounds very Shark Tank of you.
Yeah, like that's where most of our interest has been so far, and like the wallets already have all the customers. Like that's where people are storing their
the way you think.
Yeah, and so like yeah, when like we're testing with a lot of wallets, and like yeah, set up to a wide base, and like I don't know, I don't think they want another app to use to do it when they're already using a wallet app or something. So like we're looking into it, but yeah, it's not a big focus of ours right now.
That is awesome, man. Cool stuff. So what are you excited about when it comes to these, tokens in this space? Are you looking at collectibles next, or anything else when it comes to these things that are built on Ethereum? Even like, I was thinking it would be cool to like do the collectibles. We have other sort of platforms that do that, but is that something that you were looking into moving into, because that space is growing a lot, like the ERC20 token market?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on that. Like a lot of people don't like this. It's like an unpopular opinion, but like utility tokens really aren't here to stay. I don't think. Like I think security tokens and collectibles are really going to be like
100% on collectibles.
What crypto? Yeah, and like I don't know if you know, but like we partnered with Massini's, which is like a art investment blockchain platform, and we're tokenizing a real Picasso.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we put out some information on it a couple weeks ago, and we're going to announce some more information in a couple weeks. But yeah, it's like it's a known Picasso that's been like a display in museums and stuff. And basically, how it'll work is we're going to create 10,000 ERC20 tokens that represent ownership in this piece. And so
are
next
they ERC20s or ERC721s?
So there's 10,000 ERC20s, and those represent ownership in the physical painting that we have. And then there's going to be one ERC721 and that token is going to be like the digital representation of the Picasso on the blockchain.
Ah, got
And
you.
so like that one won't be auctioned. We're just going to burn the key to that, and so people can just view it and whatever. There's no real owner. But the 10,000 ERC20s that we're making, those will have ownership in the physical Picasso. And so how that'll work is next year we're going to have a vote, and you have to have the token to vote. And the vote will be how long we lock away this Picasso. And we're going to announce more next week, but it'll be somewhere along the line.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be like 25, 50, or 100 years. And so like when they vote next year, that vote will be set. And so like after that time frame that they voted for, the Picasso will be released from the storage and auctioned off, and then the token holders will be paid back then. So either in 25, 50, or 100 years.
Dude, that is hella cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. So yeah, we announced some information last week. We have a bunch of new partners and stuff we're going to announce this week, and a bunch more information about it. And the sale will be in late January probably.
Damn.
So yeah,
I'm just like blown. My mind has been blown now. I'm like stuck at like the future of art being tokenized, dude.
Dude, yeah. Like that's like a lot of people don't know it, but like art has.
What does that look like? What does that even look like in the future?
Dude, like I think that is the future. And there's also, it's really interesting, like the Howey test with the SEC. Like the question is your investment in that like going to allow the person you invest in to go make a return for you? And like in securities, like artwork, like that's not the case. Like them investing in that token has nothing to do with what EtherShift or Massini's does with it. Like the artwork itself is the security. And so like, yeah, I think it's also completely legal to do these things, but we have a lot of really, really interesting like ideas like this we're going to announce in the next few months too, besides just the Picasso. So yeah, we're definitely shifting into like, I think a kind of token world that most people really aren't familiar with or have ideas for yet. So I think it'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine me buying a piece of a Picasso painting that's tokenized off of you to give to my kid as like a part of their college fund, you know? Like
yes,
that is
exactly.
One of the questions I got from one of my viewers right here was the same thing. Can you trade the tokens for the Picasso painting peer to peer? Like,
yep.
Of course, it's a crypto, man. Like that's
yeah. So like Massini's has done one auction before. They did it a few months ago, and their platform is like an in-house platform. So you can't trade theirs off their platform, but this Picasso one you can. And we partnered with.
I would love to see a piece by Nanu Burks tokenized. I would own some of that without a doubt.
Dude, we should tokenize the world. But like something interesting, the last one that Massini's did a few months ago, they had a guy that owned like a Andy Warhol painting that was worth about $5 million or so. And they tokenized 31% of it on their platform, and they sold it to about 200 or 300 buyers. And so like 200 or 300 buyers now own 31% of that Andy Warhol in this token. And so like when the majority owner that owns the rest, the other 70% wants to sell in the future, then those token holders get paid out. And like, yeah, most people don't know, but like
the people are taking back the art.
Dude, yeah, art appreciates better than like over the last 50 years, art has done better than like the stock market, gold, silver, anything. Like it's like a really hidden asset of the world.
I've actually looked into it because I kind of fell into that rabbit hole, like the whole money laundering thing for crypto.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait, I found out that art is one of the biggest things used for laundering money.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like there's a jewelry, and then under jewelry's art, and I'm just like, whoa! And then you would see how people would get around tax things. Like they would publicly buy art from an artist, anonymously keep buying that art at uppriced in auctions, and then they would donate one of the public ones that they bought to a museum or somebody else, and they would write it all off. And it's like they created their own tax.
Cleaning that money. Yeah,
and then they
so
sell
crazy.
the art later. I'm like, yo, you're a genius.
Yeah, it's freaking
it's a pump and dump for art.
I know, it's wild, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's it. But because of the ability to say that this is an original, you have it, you possess the unique, that's a print over there, but you have the original, and being able to tokenize it 10x is the potential to transfer this, right? Like being able to move a painting from A to B and know that you got the original, that it wasn't swapped somewhere in the middle. Good luck. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay a lot. Probably as much as you did for the painting to get the painting verified.
Right. Yeah, and luckily, we're gonna announce more information on it. But like, the painting we have has like it's fully verified by the highest people in the world. Like everyone will definitely trust what we have going on.
That's cool.
And so yeah, it's gonna be really
definitely
interesting.
Wow, like I want a piece of John Red just commented, and I'm with you, man. I want a piece of a Da Vinci, just a piece.
Oh yeah, man.
I'll probably like wear the public address on a T-shirt. People are like, what is that? Like part of a Da Vinci, baby.
Right, hell yeah. But yeah, even other collectibles I'm really interested in. Like, it gets a lot of shit, but I think CryptoKitties is really, really interesting.
Well, when you combine the collectibles with artists, I think we have digital art now. Like, if you were to get a Lamborghini, somebody designed that. An artist designed that Lamborghini in a digital environment.
Yep.
So I just picture myself buying a digital Hot Wheels Lamborghini, but from the guy who Lamborghini hires to design their Lamborghinis.
Dude, yeah.
So like that artist, and it's original, unique. He made it with his hands on an iPad, and he hit tokenize, and I own that shit now, and I can prove it.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome.
So that's probably the only Lambo I'll ever own, is a tokenized Lambo.
But hey, it's a good enough one.
Yeah, that's the only one I want, dude. You know, I'm not one of those people that go out, Rolex balling. But I will probably buy some like high-end cannabis flower in Vegas or something. That's as far as I'll go. When in Rome, as it is.
I love me some weed.
Yeah, so yeah, dude. I actually have been talking to a lot of companies tokenizing the cannabis supply chain. It's we need it. I mean, the government needs it. We need to be able to track where it came from, where it went, who got, and like be able to take the strain, test it, and be able to backtrack that the actual genome to the supplier, just in case mold, pesticides, anything. We need to be able to have some more, I don't know, there is none. You never know what you're getting in this, and it is medicinal. Like I am recreational, but when it comes down to medicinal, you don't need people freaking out like the cop on brownies.
They need to know what they're getting. Yeah, right, for sure.
So what is it going on over there at ethershift.co now? Like, if I wanted to use the platform, kind of walk me through the process of an end user, and after that, maybe like as a token creator, how would I get my token listed on the end there? So like, walk me through those processes a little bit.
Yeah. So if you're if you have a token and you want to get listed, you can just email us. We generally, if you don't have any exchange support, we have to have some sort of access to your tokens. So we usually charge a few $1,000s in your tokens. We don't charge any ether or anything like that to list.
So and then in their tokens, that's it. All right, cool, honorable.
Because we just need access to the tokens. Like it doesn't cost us to list you, but then we don't list everyone. You have to have at least like a white paper or a roadmap. Like we're trying to list like the best undiscovered coins kind of thing is like what we're working towards. But yeah, we don't charge very much. And if you have a lot of exchange support where we have easy access to your token, we generally don't even charge. So that's how you can get on. As far as like a user transaction, you just go to the website. There's a deposit and receive square. You click what coin you're sending in, what coin you want to get. Click start. It asks for your address, and that's pretty much it. When you click check out or start transaction, it'll give you the address to send your token to. And then as soon as we get it, within a couple minutes, you get yours back in your wallet.
Easy enough, man. So, like, what's some of the frequently asked questions things? Like we could solve a problem or two before it even happens. What are some of the common things people run into where they have issues, like using their Coinbase Ethereum address to receive an ERC20 token, maybe? What are some of the things that people do that end up in your support channel the most, so we can try to nip that in the bud before it happens?
Yeah, that's one of them. Like, what address can I use or receive from? And like, obviously, if you're going to receive an ERC20 token, you need to have MyEther wallet or some sort of wallet that you have Euro keys to. A Coinbase wallet will work. But in our form, we have two different spots, and people ask questions about this a lot. And it's like two address spots. It's like what address you're sending from and what address you want the token sent to. And so like this way you could use Coinbase. If you're sending from Coinbase, it's fine. But obviously sending to, you need to have an address that you own the keys to.
Yeah, that's a bit. I get that a lot, and I don't even deal with like an exchange or anything. I'm just like a
Yeah,
dude in this space, and my DMs are always filled up after a popular ICO or any kind of like token takes off, and it happens to be an ERC20 token, like
mhm,
Spank. As soon as people started seeing the platform and the
yeah,
development team and all the awards they're winning and everything being done, like people started coming to me with questions and problems about that ERC20 token because it was
right,
just in the time of popularity. And I was just like, damn, people are dumb.
right,
It's like,
yeah, yeah. That's the main one though, the one
how
you
do you do
nailed. Like,
enough due diligence to know that it's potentially a good investment to not know how to obtain the asset?
just to get it, yeah, right. It's crazy.
It
People are
is. It
nuts.
is, man. So I'm happy we could try to like help a couple people before they run into problems there. Because it
Yeah,
happens. And I was, Monarch Wallet, guys. If you download the Monarch Wallet, you can literally list any and every ERC20 token on the Monarch
yep.
Wallet. So it's really easy. I just actually
That
got
one's
an
perfect.
ERC20 token today. Orium. Somebody just sent me 2,000 of them. They were like, "What's your ERC20 address?" And I was like, "Well, let me get the contract first because I like to go through that." And
Yeah.
I set it up, sent them my ERC20 address, and within a second I had my tokens because it's
Right.
easy and
Fast and easy.
you have to have your private keys, guys. It's the main
Right, for
lesson.
sure. Yeah, that's what we usually tell people too. Like, if you're trying to send us money from Coinbase, just don't.
So
Just get your own.
So I wanted to pick your brain on the ability to build tokens on other blockchains and how Ethereum was like the first to kind of do this ICO thing and tokenize. We had Bitcoin and color coins, but it didn't really like take off like these ICOs on Ethereum did and ERC20 tokens. But now we have things like Tron. People can build these sub tokens. They can tokenize on top of Tron's coin. Other blockchains coins you can build tokens on as well, and they're starting to gain a lot of popularity. Do you see a reason or a potential of exchange like what Ethershift.co is to potentially be like Tronshift.co?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, we got all the way to the point of putting up the website of like the countdown. We were gonna do Neo Shift,
See,
and so
exactly. There's a
it was
lot of
gonna.
tokens on Neo.
Yeah, and we just decided we're just gonna keep them all just in this one brand. We haven't told anyone yet, but we're gonna rechange our name in about a month and rebrand because yeah, we're gonna be doing a lot of other chains and stuff. And Ethershift's a little confining, but yeah, I do think. Yeah, I think in the next 5 or 10 years, we're going to see a huge explosion of all that. And then, I don't know, I kind of think it'll all consolidate down to, I don't know. I don't know which ones aren't going to be here, but I think a lot of the big chains that we think are going to be big probably won't end up lasting 10 years from
But
now.
you think Ethereum will? You don't think Ethereum was like the MySpace to what's next
Dude, like
is? Or
honestly, like I'll get heat for this, but like I don't know about Ethereum long term. Like I like it,
Ethereum
but like
Classic versus Ethereum is a different
well,
topic. But go ahead,
yeah,
Ethereum long term.
yeah, Ethereum, yeah, that's long term. But like I don't know, like I'm pretty hardcore. I think almost everything's gonna end up on the Bitcoin chain.
I'm with you. If I
Like
could live long enough, everything's a scam. Bitcoin will take it all over.
right,
But
like
in my
in the next
lifetime,
yeah, right, yeah, like we're gonna see a huge explosion of Ethereum. Ethereum's gonna be large, but like yeah, like I don't know. I'm kind of a Bitcoin eats the world kind of person in
yeah.
that regard.
Well, look what like AOL's intranet did for the internet in its whole.
Yeah.
The AOL was sort of how I kind of like see Coinbase.
Hmm.
It started this thing off. It got people used to interacting with
Yeah.
it, and then the snowball effect happened. People realized they were hitting all this red tape and
Yeah.
walls, and realized they were in a biodome. And
Yeah.
once they got outside, they had the necessary education, the starter blocks of how to use the internet in a centralized means to do what we have today. Plus,
Right.
we got .onions and all on tour. It's just
I was gonna say, and even today is gonna get completely disrupted, and everything today will go away too. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, long term, I think we'll kind of consolidate. Like I do think there'll be like I don't know. I love colored coins concept.
yeah, me too, man.
And
My
I
buddy
really
just
like
mentioned Ravencoin. I'm like, dude, Raven's getting a lot of love recently.
it is, yeah. But yeah, on colored coins, it's like it's an asset backed token, which is really interesting. Like I don't know, it's backed by Bitcoin or Bitcoin
Yep.
Cash or whoever's doing the protocol.
Yeah, it's
Like that's
interesting
what
concept.
yeah, like that's something that like I wish a different chain would really work towards. something like that, like because it's actually backed by the true asset, which I think makes the concept a lot more interesting.
So I'm looking at potential for other blockchains to not compete, but take like the stress off of Ethereum when it comes to these tokens. You know, like you said, utility tokens versus like security tokens, and there's a lot of different ways and different industries that need tokenization, and I don't think they're all going to run on one blockchain because of the stress. You know, and eventually Bitcoin's blockchain will be able to take on all that stress. We'll have lightning channels, we'll have atomic swaps, but building there, you know, I see like this being a very important process what Ethereum is doing, and I don't know what your thoughts are on what, you know, Vitalik has been talking about going forward with Ethereum 2.0 and moving into sharding and proof of stake versus the proof of work concept, but I'm kind of for it. I want the experiment to keep growing. I know people are worried about the security risks associated with the sharding and everything moving forward, but we don't know until we grow and try it. And for Ethereum to stay where it's at and stay stagnant, I don't see the potential that its potential being reached. What are your thoughts on it moving forward? Do you want it, like, I don't know if you like Ethereum Classic and you don't want to touch on it, but like, are you like Ethereum Classic is the real Ethereum? Do you think proof of work is where it's really at, or should they move forward? Should they try to progress into proof of stake and sharding? What are your thoughts on Ethereum 2.0 versus something like Ethereum Classic?
Yeah, I don't own any Ethereum Classic. Like, no one uses that chain. But like, yeah, I don't. I liked their pureness in the whole split. Like, I think I agreed with them, but like, I own Ethereum tokens.
Politically, like, I agreed with them.
Yeah, like, but yeah, it is what it is. And then like, even like EtherShift, like we're a service business. We're gonna go where the market wants. And so like, even if I disagree with a chain or someone's decision, like, that's not going to affect our business. Like, we're going to go where consensus is. So like, I like proof of work, but yeah, I think if Vitalik and the Ethereum community want proof of stake, I think that's what they should try. That's what they should experiment. And like, yeah, we're there to support any services. Like, yeah, we're going to go wherever the market's at. So like, if that's what everyone wants, that's good, and we're there. But yeah, personally, like, I'm more of a proof of work kind of person. I think it should stay there, but.
Well, I'm a big fan of proof of work too, and everybody's argument about the power consumption and all this, and I'm like, well, the adverse argument to that is the incentive to create cheaper electricity, better forms, renewable. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's
just those are silly short-term arguments.
Right,
like,
exactly.
We're not going to be arguing in 70 years about the price of electricity. Yeah, like, yeah, it's silly, like.
Right, it is though, but I mean, it is an argument. I guess they have one. I can't measure how much electricity went behind the dollar bill, so they win that argument.
Yeah, but it's a lot. Like, there's 15 bank branches next to my house. So
oh my god, that's funny. So I was in Toronto in Canada, and I was in like this skyscraper building thing where you could see everything. And I just saw banks everywhere.
Yeah, that's all that's there.
And in my mind, I kind of giggled like out loud, and in my mind, I was thinking like, "Wow, banks are in a bubble."
Right? Yeah. It's like every city's like that. It's like, oh, every session, oh, Bank of America, U.S. Bank. Like, it's all the same shit. It's crazy.
You know, banks are in a bubble, in my opinion, because they can't. The sustainability isn't there.
Yeah, it's also strange how they haven't, like, their products are online, but it's weird that they haven't taken that like less physical footprint yet. And
I use a bank, like, Simple.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's a great bank. There's no physical buildings anywhere, which is kind of weird. But I like them because they're 24-hour, 24/7 tech support. I can call during normal times in the Eastern time zone, and there's I don't know. I can take a picture of a check that you wrote me, and it's just right there in my account, and it's just
I don't know why they haven't shifted more into that, like the bigger breaks, like because their physical footprint's so huge and their overhead's so high compared to
what about the jobs, bro?
The jobs.
The jobs. Damn the jobs.
Damn those jobs.
So where do you see this space going with the regulations we're looking at, man? Like, we've seen the SEC coming after Floyd Mayweather and DJ Khaled recently. The exchanges, the decentralized exchanges have even been gone after. Do you see this space going too far with the regulations?
Yeah. Were you involved in like online gambling at all back when they
I wasn't, but I did just do an interview with Danny from Pinkcoin, and that's kind of how he got into Bitcoin. Is he was gambling when they went after the poker guys and shut down. Yeah, I did just get educated on this.
Yeah, so like I was into poker a lot, like when it was big online 10 years ago or whatever, and like I really think this industry is gonna follow that, and like that's really where, like that's why we chose Antigua, because like during that, like Calvin, our like a bow dog, like he just hunkered down in Antigua, and like basically just he beat the U.S. government. Like he was on the top 10 most wanted list. 5 years later, settled it for one misdemeanor charge. Like. Because what happens, I think, is like when the SEC has these actions, they push all these businesses to like offshore into Hong Kong and Singapore into these other places. But then over the next 5 years, public opinion and business opinion are going to change on these industries on topics. So then like the bad guys from 5 years ago aren't looked at as so bad anymore, and so they settle their charges and move on. But yeah, I think that the U.S. is going to push crypto outside of their territory a lot, and then realize that that's stupid and then just let it all back in over the next few years. But I do think there's going to be a huge enforcement wave first as they try to like get it under wraps. And
well, I think they're really trying to do is
get framework.
Yeah, exactly. They're setting up their framework. They're trying to make sure that they push as much out that they can't control, so they can start to build these bridges to control those things when they let them back in, right? Like, oh, you want your company? Oh, you're a company. So you're a blockchain company? Oh no, this is the project. You have to go through the blockchain government allegiance alliance program or something.
Yeah, such bullshit.
It is. But that's why I kind of go for some of the projects like yours and other companies that kind of rebel and have that anarchist kind of perspective on like, well, fuck you then. Not like not with the dangerous, because you can see when people are being too dangerous with the, we don't care about the law or regulations and things like that, and they're like, it comes off kind of scammy. But there are people that are trying to do genuine things because, like you said, I couldn't find these tokens. I can't get them without going through KYC. Yeah. There's a problem here. You're solving the problem, and another problem is you're not allowed to solve that problem here.
I know, yeah, right. It's bullshit. And like I said, like a lot of the tokens that we have are smaller. We have limits of like $300-400. Like this is not money laundering or terrorism or anything like that. Like this is fucking small ERC20 tokens. Like if people can't just transact on them, like it's ridiculous. And like I don't know. If not us, someone else. Like, there's always going to be this solution.
And they're probably going to be bad actors. People get taken advantage of. Like when the governments do prohibition. We had Al Capone, everybody getting rich, and they ended up changing that around because they couldn't control it. And then cannabis prohibition, same thing we're witnessing happen. But what they were doing the whole time was taking the cannabis industry and demonizing it, arresting all the people that had any kind of foothold in it as far as growing. Exactly, they corporatized it, and that's what they're doing right now with these tokens. They're trying to corporatize tokenization.
100%.
I don't feel like that's right. I don't feel like a company or a person that has an idea in their head for a blockchain to have to go through regulations and have to pay for license and
lawyers are like even to apply, like they're not going to approve you if you apply anyway, and if you apply you're going to lose tens of thousands of dollars. It's crazy.
Like filing for a patent today. I tried going through with that, and it's like $5,000 just to get told it won't work.
Like, and that's cheap. Like if you have something really crazy and that's like really drawn out, like it can be hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, product design, patent, use design, appearance design, all these different types of designs.
And then if you have to defend it, it's another hundreds of thousands. Like if someone does infringe on it, even if you do have it, like it's fucked.
So I like the idea of like being able to do whatever the hell I want and get hurt in the process, because getting hurt causes scarring. Scarring makes you stronger and you can move forward. But without the permission to at least get hurt, you never have the opportunity to, and that's a good thing to get hurt. I mean, I'm not telling people put your life savings into this and go all in and get wrecked. I'm saying if you can't afford to lose $5, then maybe don't do this at all. But if you can give up $5 and with that $5 orders, learn how to put in a sell order, learn how to put in a short, maybe put in a buy order here and there with like a couple bucks, because these transaction fees aren't like TD Ameritrade where it costs over $10 just to get started on a trade, and then you get 1% a month if that, and you never make money off your $5. Here, $5, you could go back and look at almost damn near anything on CoinMarketCap and look at what $5 could have got you.
Yeah, some real returns.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just bought it and held it, let alone moving it and learning how to use it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree.
So, like, I love that you're partnering with the wallets moving forward. Of course, Monarch is, like, one of my favorite wallets, so I'll be looking forward to seeing it on there. But that's what people need. They need a wallet like Monarch where they can hold their private keys, and they need an exchange that they can trust, like ethershift.co, that they can, you know, get these tokens without going through KYC. That's the real importance. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of like a gun advocate over here, sounding like, you know, like we don't need to have all these regulations on guns, like, but I don't think anyone's gonna get killed with tokens. We don't need to have.
It's really freaking silly though. Like, you got $200 in Spank tokens and want $200 on a different token, like. Just let it happen. Like,
no, I need to know your name, your address, your social.
Passport.
And the real problem I have with this KYC shit isn't even like the whole like giving up my information thing. Like, all right, fine. Like, if you really want to know who I am, you can find out my IP address. You can go through my internet service provider, and you can backtrack my IP address to my internet service provider and get my identity. Easy. But the real problem is that you don't know how to securely hold my fucking data.
That's true.
And I give
matter
you
how big the
all
corporation.
this KYC shit. And somebody's going to fucking hack you, steal my shit anyway, and now I got more problems than I can even have time to deal with. And it's happened with something as simple as Home Depot, Target, to something as complex as Equifax. So, like, why would I entrust any project or exchange or company with my personal information that could be used for anything?
Yeah.
It just ain't worth it when I could go to a potential dark market, get robbed, and get hurt because they made these markets necessities to exchanging. You know, like going down to your local street corner to buy drugs instead of going to a pharmacy and getting your narcotics. You know, that's the problem that these regulations are causing. People are going to get hurt by malicious actors instead of knowing these avenues like Ethershift that they could just go to.
Yeah, no, yeah, man, I agree completely. And then, there's the other thing bad about, like, I don't know, it sucks when, like, if we did collect personal information, like, if you did a transaction on Ethershift, like, it sucks that we know your wallet, and that's in our system, and everyone knows exactly how much money you have. And, like, I don't know, like, these things are really dangerous moving forward.
I like that you brought that up, man. That is a real problem.
Like, it's not a huge deal right now, but, yeah, moving forward, I do think it'll be a huge deal. Like, if I have a rogue employee that knows, well, shit, we know this guy's got $50 million in crypto sitting in his wallet, and we have his address, his passport, his this, like.
I can imagine right now the Netflix original crypto heist movies that are coming out.
Right.
Like, you know, holding a hostage for, you know, private keys, and it's a multi-sig or something. Like, I can see the future, because you're right. I mean, imagine, you know, giving your bartender a tip, and he just so happens to be a hitman on the side and now knows you have $50 million in Bitcoin. And he would have never have thought to hit you, but now he's like, shit, I can get some money out of this.
Yeah, right. It's really interesting.
That's like, you know, crazy out there, but there's realistic things.
But but you do become a target if you do have a lot of money and you basically, or it's like showing everyone your bank account.
Well,
like,
rich people do pay for security. They pay a lot of money for security, which like.
And, like, there's a reason why when you swipe your debit card, like, the merchant doesn't know how much money you have completely. Like, no one, like, we have, like, in the regular financial industry, these, like, somewhat normal safeguards. Like, your friends don't know how much money you have.
So how can Ethershift take the shift and do that? Like, is there any way to do, like, a mixing smart contract that would in, out, but, like, wouldn't be able to, because everything's so public on the blockchain.
I think the best way is just to not know who you are. So, like, we know a guy maybe that has a big wallet did a transaction with us, but we have no idea who that guy is. And so, like, I think that's the best way. But, like, any other exchange, like, they know where you are, where you live, have all your information, and know exactly how much crypto you usually deal with. And I think these things.
Oh, and Binance just implemented Chainalysis recently, everybody. So be careful on that exchange.
Yeah, chain analysis is, I don't know, like those kind of companies are gonna be huge, but like yeah, people don't realize
It's
how
the
advanced
NSA of
they already
crypto.
are. Yeah, like they're very, very, very good at what they do.
Oh, they know everything. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
convinced that they know enough now to be able to really have like the rest of blockchain transactions not be able to be anonymous, and even like things like Monero's anonymity are at risk when it comes to this. People don't understand the real thing of privacy. It's not just
Yeah.
like a privacy.
Yeah, and like we still have it, we just yeah, we've given it up. Like the peer-to-peer aspect, like peer-to-peer is really like if I sell you Bitcoin, you're not going to KYC me. And it's like if I have a fresh address, like there's some fresh Bitcoin right there.
Right.
But like yeah, we've moved towards this.
Oh, I
Everyone
got some
has
of that.
Coinbase.
Satoris. I have tokens that have Bitcoin on it that haven't hit an exchange, like mine
Nice.
too.
See, right, like
So they're
those.
actually
There's so
illegal to
many.
fly with.
Real, oh,
Well,
that's
it's money
crazy.
laundering, dude.
Yeah, true. That's crazy. But yeah, like I wish that we would get back to like more peer-to-peer systems. And I do think we're seeing that some like Kyber and Zero X and these types of
Yeah,
like
dude, Zero
places.
X. I'm actually Coinbase uses Zero X's blockchain protocol. Could you tap
Yeah.
into like Zero X a little bit for the audience?
I don't I'm not a tech guy, honestly. I'm more of like a business guy. So I don't I mean I just know like the consumer side of what they're doing a lot. Like I
Same.
know but like we've talked to them and they're I mean they're doing some awesome stuff. And I think like those sort of protocols will be like what allows the future to be peer to peer,
Yep.
like where anyone can launch these little launch kits they put out and open their own relays and like that is like what I think will really sort of anonymize these networks and
I
like really
watched the
help out.
dominoes on Zero X for a while when Coinbase partnered with them, and then when they listed the, and I was just like, well, that's just a common sense thing. So
Yeah,
my friends were asking me like, dude, what are you buying in the dip right now? Like, you're always like buying the dip, and I'm like, well, besides Bitcoin, obviously accumulating more Bitcoin, I've actually looked into Zero X and BAT because they're the two
I was
cheapest
about to
coins on
say the other one
Coinbase.
too. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
those two will do really really well.
Oh, I mean, dude, he created Java and Brave browser and
Right.
basic attention
And
token.
they're
That's the
really not
trifecta.
security tokens. Like they're and like Coinbase's lawyers did so much due diligence before
Oh
listing
yeah.
them. Like I think legally
That's
they're
my
just
financial
they're
advice is
good.
Coinbase. You know what I mean? Like,
Right? Yeah. Like yeah.
whatever they're doing, I'm kind of keeping an eye on them.
Yeah.
Every time
Like
they do
because
something with
that's
Coinbase Pro, or like they did listed Bitcoin Cash off their bundle on Coinbase.
hmm,
That to me is a big
that's a
signal for
big that is that's I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
crazy.
some people aren't seeing the signs, but Coinbase is the trendsetters because they are like the Yankees of crypto right now. They
Yep.
have the best lawyers, the most expensive everything.
Yep.
They are, and if anybody wants to do what they're doing, they set the pace. If
Yeah.
Coinbase was to do something, somebody competing with Coinbase would have to do that too. It's without a doubt. They set where everything's going. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of
Sure.
upset with them being so centralized and censorable and manipulable and everything else. But that I think is the Trojan horse. People are going to go through Coinbase like they do AOL. They're going to
Yep.
be really bored of this biodome, interaction, and they're going to go outside and figure out what it's like to be like limitless and actually have all this elbow room and room for activities, and
Yeah.
be able to go peer to peer without worrying or like, dude, could you imagine the first in first out tax problems people will run into that like they just didn't know they would have, right? Like, oh, I owe you money, right? So you say, Ken, pay me in Bitcoin. So I do. I say I open up a Coinbase account. I do it, this and that. Next thing you know, Bitcoin goes up, but you sold it and whatever. And next thing you know, you forgot to claim that. And you've been
Yeah.
doing it, and you didn't realize that you were breaking laws that you didn't even know existed. You were just trying to sell art. You're not a
Yeah.
businessman. You're
Right.
an artist.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's
Coinbase is
crazy.
just going to snitch and cause more problems. We don't.
Yep.
I'm big on taxation and theft, and
Oh yeah.
so what Coinbase is doing is straight up snitching. So just get ready for that. And I think that's where people will be educated, by accident.
Yeah. It's like the electricity thing. Like it's a short term thing. Like Coinbase won't be here in 30 years.
No, no,
Like,
no way.
but they are this like temporary thing that is like a necessary evil right now. Like not evil, like they're good guys, I would
They're
say.
setting
But like,
themselves up though to look like they might be here forever, like the next like the blockchain Rothschilds or something.
yeah, yeah, right. I
Like
mean,
Joseph
they got
Lubin.
some money. That's true.
I was gonna say,
But
oh no,
yeah, I don't know. I
Brian
think
Armstrong. That's what I meant. Brian
yeah,
Armstrong could be like the next Rothschild.
Uh-oh. Yeah, the
Uh-oh.
Armstrongs. They're talking about them in like 1,500 years about their start. Man, when Bitcoin was only $5,000, Brian Armstrong.
Yeah, man, and Adam Draper invested in them.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
Fucking love that kid, man. So I guess to kind of wrap things up, to pick your brain a little bit more on these tokens, the delisting aspect, right? Like once you've listed a token and things like that, the community may rally against it. They may say that it's malicious or the team isn't whatever. How do you go about like vetting a token after it does make the verification process? Like this space grows, and what I'm saying is some projects may be around but leave tomorrow, and you never notice. How do you keep up on like knowing or not like what tokens are on the exchange right now that are still worth hosting,
Yeah.
as far as like viable products, like having a development team and just aren't like vaporware, things like that? Like what's the process like to delist something?
Yeah, we haven't really delisted anyone yet, but yeah, we've only been open 6 months or so. But yeah, we just do like weekly sort of. Some coins we don't know personally. We just have listed them because they were something we found interesting or a good product, had a good community. But yeah, we just do kind of like weekly checkups. We check their
Okay.
social medias, make sure they're active, make sure they're answering questions in Telegram, make sure like there's not any seemingly like situations going on within their community that seem sketchy or anything like that. But like, yeah, I always want to tell people like we are a centralized service. Like we do make the decisions in house, even though we more operate like a decentralized exchange. Like if someone is acting in a negative way to the community, like we will delist them if we feel like it, pretty much. But yeah, so far like. I don't know. I expect the bear market to bring out some projects that are probably going to shock everyone that thought were good and aren't.
Couldn't
So
agree
like,
more.
so like we haven't really seen it yet. At least Oyster Pearl was actually one. We removed Oyster Pearl
Oh
when
yeah.
do you know that situation?
No, you just said you delisted them.
Yeah, I forgot. Well, like we just removed them, yeah, because like their owner attacked their own smart contract and stole like $300,000 from it and like dumped on KuCoin. Yeah, so like I really liked that project personally. Like I was a personal holder, thought what they were doing
Damn.
was really cool. Yeah, so we removed that one because of that. Like they're still going right now, but like just too much shady shit. So we pulled them. But like yeah, like I expect to see some more of that. But so far, all the coins we have, like active developments, active teams, and like that's really what we're looking for. Just people that are tweeting every day, posting their updates, and just working towards their goals.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The space moves so fast, so far. It could go in either direction. A coin can come
Right,
into existence or go into extinction
right.
overnight, and it's just really hard to keep up. And I'm just an end user, I don't have any projects or anything that I'm trying to like keep track of. But it just seems like that it's so hard to keep track of everything in this
Yeah.
space. I was just wondering, like, what are some of the things you look at? What's like what's your kink in the industry, man? Like, what really grabs your attention? Are you a guy who like looks at gaming on the blockchain? Are you looking at solving payment, peer-to-peer remittance? Are you really into security token? Like, where do you spend most of your time, kind of down that rabbit hole?
Yeah, as far as EtherShift, we're not looking to make like personal preferences on the coins we list. Like as long as it's a good community with a team that has updates and is working towards a goal, we're open to listing them. But yeah, personally, like I like Bitcoin a lot. I'm a big Monero fan. As far as tokens, yeah, I don't hold that many tokens. Yeah, no, I just see your tattoo. Yeah, big fan. I don't hold that. Although that's another interesting one. Like I don't know how long it'll last.
Same. I could talk about Monero all day on how much I love and hate it at the same damn time because
Yeah,
it's too much of a good thing.
right. Yeah, it's really interesting, and it's software. So like someone like a big chain can just implement their privacy developments. Anyway, yeah. As far as tokens, like, uh, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm really waiting more for like that security token wave. Like I think there's going to be a really lot of interesting things in there.
I'm
But
looking
yeah,
at
I'm holding Zero X and Basic Attention Token, some other ones like that though I like.
Equibit. They're tokenizing securities. So if you have like a company and you wanted to go through tokenization, you could go through them, and they're in Canada. So I think they just launched their ICO recently for Equibit. I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
But yeah, I actually have been keeping my my peripheral on the security tokens, but mostly I'm in the gaming side. I like the collectibles. That's why I brought up the ERC 721s.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen too many of these ERC 20 exchanges incorporating these non-fungible collectibles. I'm just like, it's just that missing link. Like, I would love to see that.
We thought about doing something like that. It's like, it's a little hard though, because like you said, they're not fungible. Like, it's hard to find a real price rate for them. So like, it's a different sort of mechanism to really get that going. But I like CryptoKitties a lot. Like, I have a lot of Gen 0 ones that I think they'll eventually make another splash in the market. Like,
oh yeah.
I've still been buying Gen 0 ones. Like, there's only 50,000 of them. Like, I think that's a really, really, really small quantity, and I think in the next run, collectibles will be a really interesting part of it.
Yeah, I got some CryptoKitties. I got some blockchain cuties. I got coin droids, dope raiders. I don't know. I got a couple. I got some.
Nice. I've looked into a lot of those, but yeah,
rare
only
Pepe cards. Those Pepe cards.
Those are nice.
Yo,
those
shout out to those rare Pepe cards. I used a Satoshi browser. From Coinbase when I was called Coinbase Wallet, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Actually, it's just called Wallet. I hate Coinbase. They ruin everything. It used to be called
just the wallet.
But they're a browser for the Ethereum blockchain, so you can interact with the dApps. And it's one of my favorite ways of getting my collectibles is through the Satoshi browser or the Wallet by Coinbase.
Yeah.
I've been using that. So I've been collecting. My girlfriend actually bought me the John McAfee Rare Pepe.
Oh yeah.
And there's only 666 of them ever. So I was like, perfect.
Right. That's nice. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Their artwork is really good. I love their stuff.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
I need to get some.
All right, well, dude, I really appreciate you coming on the show. Anything you wanted to maybe talk about that we didn't get to touch on? Anything you want to let the audience know, or just like where they can find you in the project, stuff like that?
Yeah, man, you can just check us out at ethershift.co, Twitter at ethershift.co. You can keep up with all the information. We have a token sale that starts tomorrow. Our main sale does, and so you can check that out. Come ask us any questions or check out what we're doing.
All right, man. Much appreciated. Hey, guys, there are links right there in the description box below. Go ahead and check out the links. Visit the site. Use it. Let me know what you think of the experience. Drop a comment below. How was your experience using ethershift.co? Let me know, like, if you ran into anything. If you need any help, comments below. I'll be here to help you out. Don't forget to pound that thumbs up button. Click subscribe. Flick the alert bell, and have a day. Thanks again, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks, Frank.
Shout out to Satoshi's Ball by JustLearnCrypto.com in Ottawa, December 15th. Monarch Token of Monarch Wallet, Stroken Tokens.com, Bitcoin Energy, and Bitbacker.io. Shout out to Satoshi's Ball by JustLearnCrypto.com in Ottawa, December 15th. Monarch Token of Monarch Wallet, Stroken Tokens.com, Bitcoin Energy, and Bitbacker.io.